I'm Cadet Ruat, and I will be the judge.
I'm Cadet Ruat, and I'll be Shemena. And the Infanta.
I'm Cadet Yates, and I'll be Rodrigo. I'm Cadet Yates, and I'll be playing Don Arias.
I'm Cadet Dawson, and I'll be Don Sancho.
I'm Cadet Macinich, and I will be playing Don Diego. I'm Cadet Macinich, and I'll be playing the King.
Order! Order in the court! Don Sancho, you are the prosecutor in this case. What is your stand?
Noble judge, it is not a matter of where I stand, but what I stand for, and that is justice. I stand for what is fair. The king regards himself a leader, and I would hold fast to say he is far from it. King, does one right take the place of a wrong? King, if you had a son and he was to die by the hand of Rodrigo in a duel, would you not wish death upon him? What? Your heart would not wish vengeance on Rodrigo, even if he did return a war hero? At this time, I would like to ask Shemena to please come up as the witness.
Roger that. You promise to tell the truth and nothing but the truth, so be God.
I do!
Take your seat.
Shemena, how have the past few months been for you?
It is horrible. I am tortured by having to see my father's killer paraded around the streets of the kingdom as he's a hero.
But Shemena, the king believes that it is okay for a man to kill your father as long as that man goes and destroys the enemies of this kingdom.
Could my father not have done the same? Was he less qualified than Rodrigo? I would say he was more than qualified to stand up and destroy the enemies of my kingdom. My father lived a life of service, and this is how you repay him?
See, noble judge, what effects this is having on the life of this young woman. The king must punish Rodrigo. King, I say to you, if you do not wish to do what is right, you are a weak, hypocritical leader who cannot run a kingdom.
I was just looking out for the majority of the people in my kingdom.
Order! Order in my court! At this time, the prosecution rests.
Your Honor, my client, the king, of his great kingdom, must look out for the interests on the whole kingdom. The king must look out for all of his loyal subjects and look out for the best of them. The king is the strongest leader a kingdom could ask for. In the king's action, you see compassion and wisdom that defines his every decision. At this time, I would like to call the king's daughter, the Infanta, to take the stand. Sorry, man. Go ahead.
Swear to tell nothing but the truth. So help you God.
Infanta, please portray what kind of character your father, the king, has.
I find my father to be a fair and just man whose morals and views keep them on the side of justice and the fighting of the people. My father uses his wisdoms and practice to ensure he thinks everything through, to ensure he does not jump into the rash decision.
Would you say your father is a good leader?
Yes!
You may step down.
I will.
Ladies and gentlemen of the court, who else knows more about the king than his own daughter? This testimony by the Infanta gives a brief description of the character of the king. The defense rests.
Your Honor, I would like to call Don Arias to the stand.
You swear to tell the truth, nothing but the truth, so be God?
I do. Sir, you have worked for the king for some time now and had witnessed his leadership during the tragic times of Shemena and I. Do you believe that he is guilty of the charges? Wait, no, wait. The king is not guilty. As his right hand, I have witnessed his leadership closer than any other in the kingdom. What had happened with the court was no more his fault than honor and false pride. The Moors are no longer a threat as well.
How come?
The count was such an arrogant and prideful man. In Act 1, Scene 1, the king had set me to extinguish the fire between him and Don Diego, but the count refused. All of you soldiers are hell-bent on honor as an excuse to defy your king's orders. As for the Moors, the king's leadership and judgment had allowed him to ignore my blind ignorance for them. The Moors were a threat we needed to be mindful. From the count's death, how do you think the king had handled saving his other great soldiers from vigilante justice? I believe this is where the king had done his best. Instead of leaving Ximena honorless and you free of punishment or certain death, he allowed Ximena to redeem her father's honor. And instead of making a rash and poorly thought out decision, the king had limited the fighting for her father's honor to between two people. This saved you and any other of the finest soldiers we have from any unnecessary death. We need these soldiers to assure the safety and security of our kingdom. Thank you, sir. You may step down. Ladies and gentlemen, our client, the king, is charged with crimes he did not commit. He saved the lives of many as well as solved the issues between myself and Ximena. With so much going on at one time, his leadership and decision-making skills were spectacular.
Don Diego, this king you so valiantly defend cannot save the life of one man, let alone look after an entire kingdom. You knew that Rodrigo was going to challenge the Count to a duel. You knew that one of the two would die as a result. So what actions did you put in place to prevent the conflict? You simply made a rule that dueling was not permitted in the kingdom. King, could you not see the tension between the two? Why were there no physical measures put in place to prevent the tragedy?
There was! Order!
Your Honor, can you possibly expect to get any fair judgment on the king's leadership from the Infanta and Don Ares? Don Ares has been with the king most of his life and could arguably be called his best friend. And do not let me get started on the Infanta. She is the king's daughter, and in all my years I have not heard the king's daughter, nor any other daughter in that case, ever dishonor their father.
At this time, we will take a 5-minute recess.
Ximena, are you truly angry at the king because of your father? Or for the fact that the king and tactfully revealed your true feelings for me in Act 5, Scene 6?
A cruel trick! It is not easy to choose between love and honor!
And do you feel that if in fact your father listened to Don Arias, this could have been prevented?
Yes! Yes! I cannot deny the stubbornness of my dad!
Your Honor, there is no further question.
Your Honor, you can see how the king did take action to attempt to prevent the tragedy from ever happening. But the ignorance of the Count serving him wrong and has cost him his life. My client, the king, has not done anything that shows poor decision-making skills or weak leadership. He has done as much as he can to try and avoid this and settle the conflict with no one getting hurt. The king has done everything he could have.
It is my ruling as the honorable judge that I rule that the king is not guilty.